Good morning. It's almost afternoon. It is a beautiful day here in Tennessee today. It was a little cold last night. Oh, the bus has been running the heat off of the solar. No issues. The mini split works great. Super efficient. We had a freeze warning last night, so we had to cover Kelly's garden up. A little bit, I'll go down there and uncover it. She's got a whole bunch of stuff that's already sprouted down there, so we didn't want it to die. Hey, Randall, Steve. Oh, how's everybody doing today? Good afternoon, Maddie. Yeah, I figured I'd just hop on here for a few minutes and maybe just talk about what's going on and what's coming up and that kind of stuff. Jamie and Roy all the way from Norway. Very cool. So we are still waiting on the public utilities people to come and hook up our water and gas lines. It was supposed to be done a long time ago, but because of the virus, the town was only working one crew on for 2 weeks, the next crew for 2 weeks, and we need both crews to come at the same time. So we had to wait for them to get back to work, and then the night before they were supposed to come, we had a huge storm, obviously. So they've been busy working on other projects, cleaning up the storm, working on some water towers that got damaged and other stuff. Hopefully tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday they'll come now to hook up our water. We obviously don't need the gas run now, but we don't want to tear up the neighbor's yard twice, so that's why we paid to have the gas done at the same time, just so it's here to the property, and because they're right next to each other. Oh man, it is so nice out here today. Yeah, it was cold this morning. It's not. I'm out here in a t-shirt and I'm completely fine because the sun's out. I don't know what it is now. I'm gonna say it's in the 50s, but it was in the low 30s last night. So as I said, we had to cover up her plants in the garden. I posted a thing in the community tab about stuff that's already sprouted of hers, and her green onions did too. I think that was something I didn't type in there. That came up this morning. Tyler's gonna get my old rooftop airs. I think I'm going to hook up one of my solar panels over by the container, and the 12-volt battery that I have to start the generator. I'm gonna put the generator in the container. I don't need it, but I'm gonna keep the battery over there. I'm gonna hook that solar panel up to it, and then I'm gonna hook up so once we have water here, I'll hook up the garden, an automatic sprinkler timer to that battery. And then that way when we're gone, the garden can still get watered daily by the timer, and I'll have power to do that. I can't leave here until we get the water hooked up, so that's what's holding us up. And then I still got to mess with the front wheel bearing on my bus, but that's only going to take me a few hours to do that job, and then the bus is ready to go. And the concrete pad has been 2 weeks Monday, so I don't think I'd be too afraid to park anything on it at this point. So we're open for business down there too, basically. I want to clean up and polish the bus a little bit. He's getting pretty dirty. Oh. You see like, all the little streaks and everything that he gets on him. But he'll clean up good. IHS MKBS3. Hi from Minnesota. Love all your videos. Thank you for everything you do. Well, hey, thank you. I appreciate you subscribing and definitely appreciate the super chat. That's awesome. We heard the owl last night. I was trying to get video of it, but it shut up as soon as I got my camera out. I just tried to stick it out the window. Lots of birds and stuff around here all the time though. I'm gonna try and do this live by myself here. So if no more turkey battles. Yeah, I'm just I want to get down to Bruce's, but I just gotta wait for things to get done here first. I can't leave the. We're the ones running the water line down in where the gas line's going, and they don't even know where they're hooking it to on the property, and we need to be here when they do that. Hopefully the wind sound's not too crazy on there. It's definitely windy out here. Good breeze. Property's really greened up. Well, we had 2 thunderstorms. We had the real bad storm that came through on Sunday, and then we got hit by another one on Monday. We're trying to get stuff picked up around here and get the container loaded up. Got to get that generator loaded in there. It's a little too heavy for me and Kelly to do it together. I'm gonna say that my lens is a little dirty, so hold on. Let me clean it. I think that's a little better. Sorry about that. All of his windows are emergency escape hatches on the bus, except for the rear ones there. So they all fold down. So Lenny is definitely a sun worshiper there. I can't believe how much I love that solar panel power. I know some people are sick of hearing about it, but it's really made our life wonderful. So there's Kelly's planter beds. Yeah, I suppose I can go show you the concrete pad. He still looks sexy. I don't care what people say. I know some people absolutely hate those solar panels up there, but it's not their bus. And you don't know how much I hate hearing a generator run. So there was a deer over here yesterday. You can see these tracks went tromping through here. Looked like he was gonna climb the hill there, but then didn't. Which, now that we have a garden planted down here, we're gonna have to put some fence up around it for the deer. So yeah, I think once I have something where I can water it while we're gone, that'll help. But we definitely need some fencing. Otherwise, I've not seen any other wildlife down here except for the deer tracks. I still want to know who's going to be first to get their bus over here, parked on this concrete pad. Look at that. It's ready for you. There is no extra fuel burn for those panels on top of the roof. You have no idea what a brick that thing is like driving down the road, just with the very flat front of it just punching a hole through the air. It was crazy to me. People were like, you're going to hear so much wind noise from those solar panels. There's no wind noise from them. We drove 2,000 miles with them up there. There is no change in fuel economy with them on the roof. We get 10 miles to the gallon, no matter how you look at it. Unless we're going uphill or we're in the city, then we get less. I don't have a lot of room in my life for negative comments, by the way. I try not to talk shit to people. Wish everybody felt that way. I haven't had a tick on me yet, but we got spray. Try not to go in the woods without a hat on, too. All right, I'm gonna sit down for a little bit. I'll try to catch up to some of your comments here. Yeah, if you've ever lived in an RV, operating off of a generator full time is neither fun or exciting, or it's dangerous. You know, the generators can catch fire, carbon monoxide, I mean, all kinds of things. And they're noisy and they vibrate and shake stuff, and it's really not relaxing to live in your RV with the generator running. Now, if you're plugged in somewhere at a campground, that's not too bad. But you're paying $30 a night or $45 a night for a campground. And sometimes they got bad power, you can't run your air conditioning, or the power is hooked up backwards. There's all kinds of things. With the batteries and the powers that we have, the power that we have available to us, we can do anything that we want. Air conditioning, heating off of it, cooking, baking in the oven, refrigerator, charging batteries, running power tools, you name it, we can do it. Doesn't affect us. It's just like we're plugged in somewhere else. You know, having over 4,000 watts is great to have. That mini split air conditioner was a game changer for us. The rooftop air was so noisy. Like if you're at a campground and the guy next to you, you want to be outside enjoying the day and the guy next to you is running his rooftop air, it's very annoying. Or even if you're out boondocking somewhere and somebody's running their rooftop air, they're very loud. Now with that mini split, you can run that and people don't even know it's running. But yeah, the bus isn't as pretty as it could be without the solar panels. It's something, you know, it's a sacrifice that we made. I'm fine with it. That's all that should matters. Plus, if I had to go get gas for a generator all the time, and we've been here for over 2 months now. I think it's been over 2 months. I lost track. We've been here a long time, it feels like. We seriously get to live just like we're plugged in somewhere, even though we're not. Cloudy days, sunny days, rainy days, it doesn't matter. We've never yet run out of power. They don't move very much stuff across the streets. We don't hear a ton over there. But it's definitely not annoying to me. The annoying thing is the one neighbor, somebody around here that has dogs that bark and yipe all the time. That is the only complaint that I have. Oh, and then our post office lost a package. So we're trying to get that sorted out with the post office. It's not going very well. Sage sent me a new fuel pump for the Volkswagen. It said it was delivered, but it wasn't delivered. And then, so he called and gave him the tracking number, and they showed the GPS tracking where it was scanned at. It was not at our address. So they were going to look into it. Then they came back saying that, oh, it was at our address. The driver remembered giving it to me at my bus. But that didn't happen. I met the carrier one time, and that was a different day of the week. So then I came back to him with, well, then if he handed it to me at my bus, then the GPS location, I mean, it's like a quarter mile away from where it would have showed the scan at the mailbox, if that's where they were saying it was scanned at. Because now they've come back saying it was scanned at our mailbox. But so it wasn't. So the post office is looking for it. We'll see what happens. I just want it to be found. The poor postal inspector lady said she'd pay for it out of her pocket, but I don't want her to have to do that. I don't think that's fair either. I just want them to hopefully find out where it went to and get it back if it got delivered to the wrong house or whatever. The mini split works so much better than a regular air conditioner. Number one, the compressor seems to work at multiple speeds on it or something, or whatever the power requirements on it. The harder it runs, you know, the level goes up or down depending on what it's doing, as compared to the rooftop air, which just seems to be full on high no matter what. I think that's part of the reason why it's so much more efficient, but it just cools the bus so much better. And I know some people are like, well, yeah, your bus is going to be cooler because you got all that shading from the solar panels, which that definitely is true. But when I got here, we had 6 solar panels on the roof, and that one mini split was still cooling the bus better than one rooftop air for sure. And the rooftop air is 13.5 BTUs, and the mini split's only 12,000 BTUs. So it's less BTUs, but for some reason it cools better. I can't tell you why. And we have been able to cool the entire bus with just the one mini split, which we could never do on a sunny day with just the one rooftop air. So I really do love that thing. We haven't needed to really use the cell phone booster here. Everything works fine without it. But when we have been in areas that we needed it, it definitely works. I do love having it on the bus. And obviously the batteries that we have, the Battle-Born batteries, are great. The way that they supply power, the way that they charge up so fast. I mean, I'm sure you can do it with lead acid batteries, but we never had luck with our lead acid batteries. I could never pull the kind of power out of them. I could never run my rooftop air for sure off of my lead acid batteries. The voltage would just fall off so quickly with them. And not even meaning, you know, discharge them beyond 50%. Let me flip the camera around. You guys can actually look at me here for a little bit. But yeah, no, the rooftop, the shade is going to make a difference on there just a little bit. But I was still getting the same amount of cooling effectiveness with just one rooftop air. Still had the solar panels on there. It was still hot. But yeah, it'll help. But I think most of my sun heat gain is not through my roof. It's through the side windows. And the fact that it's a heat pump is great too. So we're going to go ahead and remove that rear rooftop air over there. And then we'll put the 2 more of these panels over here up on the roof. And then that's all that's going to happen to the roof line. So I'll end up having 10 panels up there. The solar panels are from Santan Solar. Rusty is my salesman there. They're $110 a piece used, but they're all tested and still warranted. They're great. That's the place that Juan turned us on to. It's an amazing place. They have other sizes, other powers, other prices, but these are the 327 watts. Monday or Tuesday, they're supposed to come, the gas company. That was the last thing that I heard them, although they said they were going to give me a day's notice, and since they didn't get a hold of me yesterday, I'm assuming they're not coming Monday. But I don't understand why they're very hard to communicate with. I just want to know what day you're coming, and, you know, that's all. And, you know, they keep giving me this day or that day. I mean, I understand the storm went through, so that messed things up, but... yeah, so anyways, I got a parking spot down there available. If somebody wants to bring their bus here, get work done, that'd be great. Reach out to me, let me know. I don't know how long we're going to be gone on that trip to Florida, but I think it's going to be a real short trip. I got to talk to him and find out exactly what his expectations are, what he's looking to get done. My understanding from our initial contact is we're just going to soup it up a little bit, so a day or two of getting some more power out of it for him, and then that was it. But I need to find out what the expectations are. And then we'll come back here for a while again. Yeah, Southern hospitality is great here. People are so nice and kind everywhere, but the one thing that they're not very good at is returning phone calls. That would be the one thing I would say that they're not real good at. Yeah, I have the foil stuff that we put in the windows in the bus. I need to get an awning or something up there on the exterior. I had made a windshield cover for my other bus that snapped on the outside of the windshield, and that was way better at keeping the heat out of the bus than having something inside of the windshield where the heat was already coming through. I don't have as much money tied up in my solar system as people think, but the batteries are the expensive part. So depending on what you do with your batteries, obviously the inverters were quite a bit too. But I've got double everything, just because I wanted backups on everything. So we have 2 inverters, 2 solar charge controllers. I mean, we really have twice the solar that we need. But I did that to have the power for cloudy days. I'm gonna flip this back around so you can look at the beautiful scenery instead of me. The solar panels themselves, like I said, they were $110 a piece. So they gave me a deal the second time I bought them because they gave me a bulk price on them. But the regular price on them is $110 a piece. I got the second set that I bought, I got for $90 a piece because I bought so many of them. But I believe $110 is their advertised price, so that's a great deal. No, Lenny's gonna stay here for now, but we can move him back to the septic to dump. But if we only gotta do that like once every 2 to 3 weeks, it's good for him to get a little roll around the property anyways. Oh, these solar panels will pay for themselves. They probably already paid for themselves. I mean, if you think about how much, well, I guess gas prices are down right now, but honestly, if you're looking at building something and you want to buy a generator right now, if you're looking at buying an RV generator, they're pretty darn expensive. It's real easy to spend, 8 to 12 grand on a generator, and you can have a great solar setup with all the Battleborn batteries and everything. You're going to want an inverter and everything anyways, and you're going to have some type of a house system. So just take money that you would have normally put into a big generator and buy a little tiny, a Honda generator. I used to have that Honda EU 1000, I think is what it was. So it's an inverter. That would be all we would need. 1,000 watts. We're always going to have enough to solar, even on cloud, except for nighttime, I guess. But, or one of the Honda 2000, 2200s, whatever they are. Just to have something. But I'm so confident in it that we pulled that expensive RV generator out of there. Yeah, your solar paid for itself in 14 years, but if you would have only paid $110 a piece for those solar panels, yeah, you would have been even way ahead of the game. So, I mean, I think if you can buy solar panels from a place like Santan Solar where they're selling you used panels, they're a couple years old, but still have, 20 years left on the warranty on them or more, that's a huge savings. I assume that those panels originally were, $400 or more would be my guess. I never actually looked at what anybody know what the new price on the list price is on those? SunPower 327 watt. Definitely much more than $110. And if you think about your kilowatt per hour for your power company is pretty cheap, but your kilowatt per hour off of a generator, or if you're at RV parks, that's a lot higher. You're paying a lot more money per kilowatt hour if you're staying at an RV park to plug in, or if you're running your generator, 10 times. I'm not putting anything around the slab right now, but that would be the eventual plan. Yeah, to keep it clean down there and do that, but everything takes money, and people are really good at trying to get you to spend your money, but I mean, we haven't been working, so we don't have any extra money. We've really, thank goodness for Patreon. That has really helped us out here. We really love our Patreon supporters. That has been a big, big blessing for us out here right now. Without that, we'd really be in trouble. Hopefully YouTube ad revenue is going to go back up soon, but none of the companies are paying money to advertise on YouTube right now. The ad rates that you can get off of your videos is down tremendously over what it was last year. I have the front wheel bearings and races. I'm going to try and get that done in the next couple days. I didn't want to do it on a rainy day, and I didn't want to do it in the dirt. My solar panels have been staying pretty clean, but there was a lot of pollen on them a couple weeks ago. I had to clean them because of the pollen. And I didn't see a huge increase, but maybe 100 watts that I saw daily increase once I did clean them. So is it worth climbing up the ladder for 100 watts? Maybe on a cloudy day. If we get enough rain, they're pretty well coming clean with the rain. Uh, let's see, what is Paul asking me here? Can you, with your setup, can you charge boost the bus starter bit? Yes, I can. Well, I have a charger. I have a 100 amp charger that's plugged in, and I just tell Alexa that. I probably should have said that word. Sorry. I tell that thing to turn it on, and it'll turn it on for me, and that charges the start batteries. So I can dump 100 amps into it, and then I have a 70 amp, 12 volt. It's called the Orion, that takes the 24 volt from the bus batteries and throws it to the 12 volt system. Oh, those things are strong, man. You can walk across them. I mean, those panels that went flying the other day, it's only because the two of them that took off in that storm, I had them elevated on one end up on a board to tip them towards the sun a little bit. And we had 40-mile-an-hour winds a few days before that, and they never even budged, so I wasn't worried about it. But, you know, we had, apparently it was 75-mile-an-hour winds that came through that day. And it took those two panels and it just flung them. They landed face down in the chert, which chert is really hard rock. There's a couple little scratches in them from the chert, but they didn't fracture or shatter, and they're still producing their full amount of power. So they're very durable. You know, they're made to hold like softball size hail or some baseball size. I don't know what it is. Great big hail. They're strong. They're durable. I just dusted mine off with a rag when I was up there. Yeah, I can run the mini split over the road. We ran the rooftop airs over the road too. It's very hard to cool off the bus with air conditioning over the road, though. There's a lot of air infiltration when you're driving down the road. So it's hard to keep the cool air in there. Even when we had the rooftop airs over the road, that was hard to do. You know, I could sit park somewhere and run the air all I want, but as soon as you start driving at 60 mile an hour, it's harder to do that. I haven't yet because he hasn't been on the road since I put that in, but I plan on running it from time to time. They're tapered cone bearings, so there's an inner race as well, or there's a race that goes in the hub. Paul, $2 for the chainsaw fund. I had a funny thing the other day. I was using my chainsaw, my little electric one, and the chain was loose and it popped off. So I took it all apart and cleaned it and put it back on. It hadn't been cutting very well when that happened. So I sharpened my blade, put it all back together, and went to cut with it. I'm like, man, it is so dull. It's not cutting anything. It's just like smoking and barely cutting the wood. But it turns out I put the chain on backwards. I didn't realize it when I had it apart. That was funny. That's a rookie chainsaw mistake. Yeah, I need to get a good chainsaw. I have a gas chainsaw at home, but it's not a very big one. It's probably, I don't know, 14 inches, 16 inches. I don't know. It's little. Clearly, I'm going to need some big chainsaws like my neighbor's got here. He's got small, medium, large over there. So I think we're going to go to the grocery store today. I might run to Lowe's. I need to finish sealing up where I took off that front air conditioner. I got to do the roof and put some insulation up in there and stuff too. Kelly needs a lot more views on her channel before she has enough subscribers to get monetized, but she doesn't have enough views yet. I think she's about halfway there. She has to have I think it's, I want to say 240,000 minutes or something. I don't remember what it is. Whatever it is, she's about halfway there. So if you've not been watching her vegan cooking channel, please do. And if you're thinking about joining us on Patreon, that would be awesome. Ah, thank you. Yeah, go watch some of her videos. She made some good stuff yesterday. She made a Boston cream pudding. It's delicious. I have videos that explain everything that's in there with the solar setup. I suppose I should be reading your questions as I answer them. So everything's pretty much so Victron on the power side of it. We have the Victron inverters, the MultiPlus. We have they're 3,000 watts. There's two of them, and then we have the Victron Orion, which is a 24 volt to 12 volt converter. And then we've got two of the Victron charge controllers. They're 150-70s or /70s, which means they can take 150 volts at 70 amps that it'll put out. Yeah, eventually we'll I'll show some pictures of her garden stuff that's growing. Some of it she started in the bus, some of it she started in the garden itself. She's got a few different things going on. She didn't really want to do it, honestly. Or I don't think she wanted to do it so quick. We're going to be on the road, but we're not going to be on the road nearly as much this summer. I think this summer is just going to be a crazy year. That's why I'd really like to get people to come here. That would make everything so great. I can't wait to start getting stuff out of the garden. That'll be amazing. Try not to get my hopes up too much, though, because I know the deer are going to ruin it for us. And an armadillo or whatever else is going to decide to get down there, and we'll work on it. Just got a lot of fun stuff planned down there, though. Delicious stuff. It'll be our all-you-can-eat buffet over there. Yeah, I look at my buddy Jeffrey. He's got that dolphin tour business down in the Bahamas. Remember, we rebuilt that. Well, we didn't rebuild it, but we got that engine, that basket case engine running on that boat that he bought, that little Yanmar. If you've never watched that video, I think it's a fun video to watch. The fact that that thing actually runs and still runs and is running great. But yeah, no, people can't even come into the Bahamas. They're on lockdown down there, so he can't do touristy things. And yeah, so I don't think he's going to even get a season in this year. And there's a lot of people like us that do this that you can't file unemployment now. They're not going to give you that. When you're self-employed and you're doing, gig work and stuff like that, it's just hard. But hopefully people would want to come here and get their buses worked on. It's a nice private spot. You're not really going to be around people. Probably less people than you would in your hometown. No 50% discount for the first one, but I won't charge you a campground fee. I won't charge you the resort fee. We cleared out a good trail through the woods to the neighbor's house, so we got a nice, we can drive the tractor or the four-wheelers through there real easy now. Well, most of them would just live in their bus. Most of them have RVs that they came here for me to work on, so they wouldn't have to go somewhere else. But there is a hotel here in town, but I wouldn't expect people to do that. They could camp here on the property as well. Yeah, you do have to follow the rules of the KHOA, man. That's the Kelly Homeowners Association. That's my wife. She's the governing body of what is or is not allowed here. There's not a wiring diagram of the solar panels, but I have them hooked up two different ways. I have half of them hooked up just in parallel, and the other half I have hooked up in series parallel. Um, both ways have some advantages and disadvantages, and I kind of discussed that in some of the videos. Yeah, the no junk laying around thing is for the most part true, but I got a couple things here on the property she still needs me to get out of here, like that generator that I pulled out, and that looks terrible over there, and that old refrigerator. We moved in 2 days after we got here. The day we came back for the virus, the refrigerator died, and we just got rid of a dumpster to get rid of all the trash that was on the property. So we've got an old refrigerator sitting here that needs to go in the. I'm gonna put that in the container too. Any Civil War relic hunting, metal detecting. Well, there weren't really any battles. This isn't a battleground. Um, but I'm sure there's some neat places around here. It would be kind of neat to do some metal detecting and see what you could find. I even think some arrowhead hunting or something, and especially the overhang, that cliff overhang is on the property. I think if somebody wanted to go in there and sift through some of that stuff, I suspect they would find some stuff over there. Full sun, I get 140 amps at 24 volts. Well, 28 point whatever, because it's 24 volt system. But like right now, even though I like the hot water heaters on and other things like that, the solar panels they basically turn off. The solar chargers stop pulling amps in when they don't need them. So once the battery hits its required voltage to be 100%, all that stuff turns off. So even though it's full sun right now, I'm probably only getting not even probably a couple hundred watts coming in, because that's all that's needed right now. I assume the heat has turned off by now. Well, we're trying to get down to Florida to do one job down there, and then coming back. Oh, I have all kinds of. Do I have any plans to expand the battery bank on the bus? I would love to expand the battery bank on the bus, but unfortunately, it costs a lot of money, and I have zero funds to go for something like that. It's not necessarily needed right now, and there's no way I could justify spending any money on that. We're good with what we have. Of course, I would love to add more, but there's no budget for that. The mini split brand is Mr. Cool. It's a great company, super easy to deal with, great product. Highly recommend them. You can get them around $700, I think. How many batteries would I like to have if cost were not a concern? Great question, Don. I think 1,000 amp hours would be really nice. And I just made that number up for no reason whatsoever. We have 400 amp hours of 24 volt right now, so that's 8 100 amp hour Battleborn batteries. Honestly, it's done everything we need it to do, but I would feel more comfortable having like an extra whole day of power in the bank to say. Cloudy days were really good. Rainy days are a bit of a struggle, and but which it's usually cooler on a rainy day, and we haven't had the issue. But if there was a 100-degree, I don't even know if there is such a thing as a 100-degree rainy day where it rains all day. But it would just be nice to have a little bit of extra power in there. So, but I honestly, if this virus stuff wouldn't have come up, I probably would have added 2 more and been done with it, and that would have gave me the 500 amp hours, and I'd have been completely fine with that. The truck that came from George is just going to be like a shop truck to use here on the property, a farm truck. It's not, yeah, nothing crazy. It's not going on the road or anything. It's just if we got to go pick up a vehicle or tow something in that we can tow to work on, or buy a piece of equipment, or move our bulldozer and our backhoe, that kind of stuff. That's the plan. So who wants to come here and go camping on our property? Let me know. We don't have, how do I keep the batteries cool in the battery bank? It's just in a large bay. There's a lot of thermal mass in that bay with the fresh water tanks and everything that are in there too. It just never really gets crazy hot down there, and it is ventilated because I had the lead acid batteries in there. I've not seen any issues with that. Well, we've only gone through the winter with it. We haven't had the super hot summer days yet, but I do have a temperature sensor in there, and it sends alert to my phones, but I haven't had that happen yet. Yeah, I can't wait to get a bulldozer here and start making some more roads on the property. And I got lots of great camping spots that I'd love to get some RV pads put in on. Even if they're just gravel for now, that's probably what's gonna, the dream of concrete pads everywhere. I think that's gone for a few years now, but I can probably afford to get a few gravel ones put in. Yes, I can work on an MC7. Oh, shit. That didn't just happen. We'll see if that stays on there. Yeah, I wasn't even touching it. It just flew out of the holder there. There's like a little rubber piece on the bottom of the tripod that holds the camera in place, and apparently the rubber piece has torn, and that's what the friction of that is what holds the camera in. So it just like flung it out of the tripod all on its own. So I've got 2 YouTube viewers, somebody's asking about the bulldozer and the backhoe, that have offered us some equipment. It's not running and not operational, but it's for us to come and get. So we had to get a truck and a trailer to be able to pull it down here, and then we're going to try and repair it and get it working, and then we'll have it here to work on the property. Let's see, Anthony's asking here, did you anticipate the amount of work that you would have to do to just get to where you are now? Oh yeah, we knew there was going to be a lot of work here on the property, but we thought we would, do a little bit here and a little bit there, and then actually have a budget to do it, and not just be stuck here with nothing. It's a little easier to do this stuff when you've got, money coming in. Well, the nearest city is Nashville, or at least the nearest big city. So we're less than an hour from Nashville. But we're only, we got a grocery store 2 miles away. We have all the conveniences here. Well, Centerville's technically a city, but yes, that's the closest town. You just wouldn't know it's a city. I haven't heard back from the guy that was going to bring a bus here. There's 2 of them, and I reached out to both of them since I talked to them, and nobody's got back to me. That diesel fuel will last in there a long time. It doesn't need stabilizer. But I do put fuel treatment in it anyways. I use the house. Well, Lucky Dog Bus Company, they can't really do anything right now. Everything's closed. Nobody's getting together. Nobody wants, the, the, the bars and stuff like that, that stuff's still not open. The touristy stuff, the things that he would go to. The world's just changed. We can't leave here to go work on Bruce's stuff until we get our water hooked up. That's been our, it was supposed to be last week, but the storms came through and that delayed everything, and I can't just leave. So if everything goes right, next week, hopefully. There is a bird. Let's see if I can get it. Ugh, come on. Without dropping my phone again. Oh, where'd he go? Well, we lost him. There's one of those turkey buzzards just hanging out. Probably circling me. Man, is it a beautiful day. Yeah, Thomas, I know you think you're returning to normal on Tuesday, but I don't think you're really returning to normal. I think a few things are opening, but nothing's going to be normal. I think you can have all the conspiracy theory talk or ridiculous stuff about it, but regardless of how you feel about it, nothing is the same. And even though things are opening back up, if you look at your local or your state rates for infections and deaths and all that, how much of a decrease have you seen in that? And yet everything's going to open back up. I'm not thrilled about being on the road, getting sick on the road, getting parts, that's waiting on parts, supply chain issues. There's just a lot of reasons, I guess. There's the turkey buzzard. I lost him. What water separator fuel filter does Lenny have? He has a Davco. I want to say it's a 238, I think is the number, or 283, whatever it is, something like that. I think it's 283. We're not really wine drinkers. We've not been to any local wineries. I always pronounce her name wrong, I'm sure. Najkin. I think I've asked you before how to pronounce it, so thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know when things will get back to normal, but I have no problem without leaving the house without a mask on. Well, I mean, I don't want to drive in my car with a mask on, but going in public, we've been wearing masks every place we've been going into. Um, well, for one, they say it not only protects you, but for the big part, it's protecting others from you. And I would not want to. The fact that you can be symptomatic and or not be symptomatic and have it, that's my concern. I don't want to make somebody else sick. Someday we'll have a big fire pit here, just not yet. All right, don't start that snake talk, Jack. I don't think there's a big market for selling down trees for firewood right now because the entire state of Tennessee just had the hugest windstorm and there's trees down everywhere. I almost get no water whatsoever out of my fuel. I'll get a few drops every time I drain that bottom of that filter. Um, I don't. The whole time I've had it, I don't think I've ever had more than a shot glass full of water come out of there, and that's thousands of gallons of diesel gone through there. Concrete pad down there is not for Lenny, so that's for me to get some customers, some money making buses on it. Lenny came through the storm just fine, no issues. We haven't had any sign of rodents on the bus since that one night with the rat. We sealed everything up. That must have been where they were coming in at. I've not seen any signs of any. We've not caught any. I've not seen any even around the bus. So I don't know what the deal is, but the good news is I've not seen nor heard any rodents whatsoever. The concrete pad is basically 6 inches thick. Robert Davis, have a good weekend. Thank you so much for that, man. I would love to have some buses here to work on, especially if anybody's considering buying a bus right now. If you want to get an old one and just get it here and give me something to work on, man, that would be great. I know that there's silver sides for sale that Jason was talking about buying and getting here. I haven't heard from him, but if somebody's looking for an old silver sides, it's only, I think it's 90 miles away from here. Man, I would love to get that thing towed here on the property and get that going for somebody. Probably in the future when we build the house, we'll have some type of a storm shelter with the house. John Fielder, thank you, man. #1 fan. Appreciate that. We'll have city water here on the property. That's what we're waiting for. Wow, Joe Olgren, is that how you pronounce your name? Enjoy the grocery trip run. Yeah, Kelly needs some more fresh vegetables. That's the, obviously we're vegan, so we eat a lot of veggies. And she's got some yummy recipes coming up. If you guys don't subscribe to her channel, Vegan Cooking with Kelly, it's great stuff. I know I started to say I want to run to Lowe's too. I need to get some corrugated metal. I have corrugated roofing stuff that I have on the ceiling of the bus on the inside. So I need to cover up where the air conditioner used to be. So I need a new piece of that there, and then that's got to get insulated up there. There haven't been any farmers markets even open. I don't even think they've been allowed to have them. That's why we're looking forward to the garden. Yeah, that was really nice of you, Joe. Everybody who chips in a little bit. I mean, every little bit helps for sure. But that was very generous. The weather's great right now. I mean, other than the fact that it got cold last night. We covered up her garden because of the freeze warning, so I need to get down there and uncover that stuff back up. Great, Wiley. See, I always rooted for the coyote. I don't know. Mostly, I think because I liked his creativity. Wonder if anybody makes an Acme catalog of all the stuff that Wile E. Coyote used to be able to buy from Acme. Mark Ray, thank you so much, man. Trying to figure out what that super sticker is actually doing there. Just dancing. That's awesome. Tyler's going to come down when we go to Florida, so we're just waiting. I can't leave for Florida until we get that water hookup. And I'm not too sure about when that's going to happen with the water and stuff. So handyman DM, a little chip in for whatever. Thanks, man. Wow, you guys are being great today. Yeah, do you think the Roadrunner had stock in Acme? Tyler's lease is up in September, I believe, or August, one of those two. So I believe he's coming down then. Yeah, the solar panels actually aren't doing probably anything right now. I can't pull that up on my phone and do the chat at the same time, but because we're already at 100% and the temperature is in the area where we're not needing to run air conditioning or anything right now. I don't think she has the air on. We had the heat on this morning. So most of the time they're not really doing much, but when we need it, it's there. I think we get 70% of a super chat thing. I believe that's what we get. We do have a PayPal too. That's Scott@busgreasemonkey.com is my email for it. People can donate that way too if they want to. Yeah, that guy would be Google that takes that 30% of the super chat. Google I think they take 50% of our ad revenue too, I believe is the number. Google makes a lot of money off YouTube, I'll tell you that. If you go to PayPal, there's a way to send money to people, and it asks you for the email address. And the email address that ours is Scott, SCOTT, @busgreasemonkey.com is our email. And that's how that works. So you can just do it that way. And Google only takes a very small, or not Google, PayPal takes a much smaller fee than what Google takes, or well, Google being YouTube for like a super chat. It's more like 3% or something like that versus 30%. Artie's asking me to name the wildlife that we've seen. We haven't seen a ton. You know, obviously snakes and squirrels and birds, woodpeckers. Kelly saw what we're assuming is a coyote. Turkeys. Haven't seen the owl yet. I hear the owls all the time, but haven't actually seen them. Seen the tracks of the deer all through here, but have not actually seen the deer yet. I think it's in the, you guys could look it up, see what the Nashville weather is right now. I assume it's in the 50s right now. It's beautiful out though because it's sunny. I'm in a t-shirt and it's really nice, but it was cold last night. I think it got down to 34. Oh, we didn't see a groundhog. We saw an armadillo. It ran across my feet. Seen all kinds of snakes, all kinds of spiders. I'm just, for our water use here, we're just gonna have a water spigot hooked up, a freeze-proof They kind of look like a well pump. So the on-off switch is buried underground so it doesn't freeze, and then we'll just have a garden hose that runs over to the bus, and then we fill up our 100-gallon freshwater tank every, week and a half, 2 weeks, and then we're good to go. I don't think the armadillos like to be pet. That's just a guess. I have not seen a rattlesnake yet. I will definitely get you a video of that if I do. Oh, I didn't know there was a thing that you can identify birds by their sounds. BirdNet app. I think that bird was just agreeing to it. Yeah, if anybody's thinking about buying a bus, man, especially if you got to get it towed to your place, man, have it towed here instead, and they'll have something to work on. You'll get to see some videos of it, and I'll give you a discount. I didn't say how much of a discount. I just I'll give you a discount. No, but if say you were buying a vintage bus that's going to be a pretty good project for me, that I'm going to get a couple of weeks of worth of work out of it. I could easily see doing, a good percentage of what, maybe even as much as 50% of the tow bill to have it towed here, that I would give you a discount. Say if it's going to cost you $2,000 to get it towed here, if I gave you $1,000 in free labor, the first $1,000 going towards it, as long as it was a big enough job, I could afford to do that. That would make it attractive for somebody to have something towed here, I think. I mean, don't hold me to that. That's just an idea. We'd have to figure out the logistics of everything, but I definitely would be willing to do something like that. A couple days free labor to have, 2.5 weeks worth of work or something, that would be nice. I wouldn't do that if it was if you just wanted a tune-up or something, that. But it's something we could discuss. I think it was $700 to get the tap fee, the city water hookup fee. I believe that's what it was. I'm not 100% positive, but it might have been $500, but I think it was $700. Yeah, Steam and Diesel Productions, I can't wait to get working on stuff either and produce the videos of it. Rudy, thank you. That's great. David, do you have any 20-foot container pools there? I don't know what you're asking me there. We have a 40-foot container. Oh, is that where somebody makes a swimming pool out of a container? Yeah, that fee for the water tap, that's just a tap fee. That didn't include that, but then we have a 500-foot run of PEX that's going to get us to our property. I wish I had something really exciting today, but I just don't. I mean, I could go start working on that front wheel bearing, but Kelly wants to go to the grocery store, or at least I want to too. So we'll probably finish this up here unless there's any more questions real quick. I'll try to get to them. If I skipped your question, I didn't do it on purpose, probably. Some of the dirt has settled in front of the container, so I need to add some more chert to that. Make it a little easier to get the thing in and out of there. So yeah, today's a nice day. It's really nice driving around in the thing without having the top or the windows on it and stuff. So take advantage of that today. Yeah, I gotta go get Kelly. She's gonna make me some yummy food, so go get some more stuff from the store. And I think we're gonna run to Lowe's today too. Hopefully. I just got a couple things to finish up patching up the inside roof, insulating where the air conditioner came off, and finishing the ceiling in there that got torn up because that inside unit came down. I got more headroom in there now. That's nicer. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. Appreciate it. I definitely appreciated all the super chats, super stickers. That was really nice. A few people that made the donation to PayPal too, and just the rest of you for watching and joining in. Appreciate that. Appreciate you all. I know it's Mental Health Awareness Month, so kindness is a great medicine for a lot of people. So I try to be kind to everyone, and I definitely appreciate your kindness on here. There is no Costco anywhere near us here that I'm aware of. I would assume Costco is at least an hour away, would be my guess. We'll probably head into Dixon today is where we're gonna go. That's where the Lowe's is. So again, thank you so much, everyone. Appreciate it. I'll get some work done on the bus. You'll maybe see a video or two of the bus, and hopefully you'll see the water and the gas stuff happening this week. A couple things on the thing too. So again, thank you so much. Appreciate you all. Hope you enjoy your weekend. Thank you.